we are known, you and I am known as a guy that thinks Dak Prescott is en route, even though you try to say I already have promoted him to elite status. I haven't. I just said he's en route, and we'll see. But I like Dak. You like Carson Wentz gonna get hurt again. Carson Wentz in Philadelphia. Neither won yesterday. Both had poor. I mean, Dak, I thought Dak was okay. But obviously he didn't win, and he didn't get them a win. I look at that game, and Dallas's defense. Now, I know they're going against a high-powered offense, even though last year they didn't make the playoffs, the LA Rams. We know that's a team minus the running back Todd Gurley that they basically have everything they had when they got to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. And so that's a good offense, and holding them to 20 points is impressive. But the problem was the Cowboys' defense was bending all night. They didn't break a lot. Like I said, they only gave up 20 points. But the time of possession and all of that, I just thought that, the Rams just had their way offensively, even though they didn't score a ton of points. And I also got to look at Mike McCarthy. I'm not trying to excuse Dak. He only threw for 1 TD. This is a good team that he lost to again, so I'm fine with all that. But this should have, at the very least, this is a game that should have went into overtime. I don't know what Mike McCarthy was thinking when he went
believed
for
in
it.
his offense and believed in Dak that they could
And
get
then
a
the
first
play
down.
wasn't that a handoff? What was the play that they ran on that?
No,
I can't remember. I think it was a
CeeDee
pass.
Lamb, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a pass to CeeDee Lamb, where Lamb didn't run deep in his route deep enough. Number one, it was a little behind in the pass too, but the route, rookie didn't get to the first down marker where he needed to get. So, but I just thought, look, you had what? I think you had 11 minutes left at that point. Tie the game and then come score later. And then I thought the offensive pass interference that could have given, certainly Dallas would have had a great chance to tie it with a field goal, if not score the game-winning touchdown. I thought that was a little touchy. I don't think the receiver really, Gallup, fully extended his arm. But, they were both kind of battling with the arms, him and Jalen Ramsey. But I'm not going to make excuses for Dak, but I thought he played okay. But bottom line is you got to win. But, Rob, I was disappointed in Wentz. And I take solace in that Dallas lost to a good team, whereas Philadelphia lost to the Washington football team.
Yeah, but the only problem is that this is the MO of the Cowboys. They don't beat any good teams. And you could talk about the defense all you want, giving up 20 points on the road in that situation. But Dak was bad. Dak was just, and especially Chris,
I don't know
the second
about
half.
bad.
How many yards did he have in the second half? Do you know?
Well, yards isn't the grand measure, but he threw for 266.
10 for 21 with 61 yards in the second half. The Cowboys only had 15 net yards in the final 10 plays. This is what I'm talking about. When the game, he still could have won the game. And now here we go. Now the Cowboys, this is to tell you how bad the Cowboys are. Just when you talk about.
Are you going to talk about the Eagles?
No, not yet. Can they get to
Not
the Cowboys?
yet.
You just talked about Dak.
No,
Can we
go
do
ahead.
that first?
Go ahead.
All right. And then I want to talk about.
Because don't avoid your boy.
No, but
Your boy was
but I want to
garbage.
counter your Dak argument that you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. And the Cowboys are now 1-7 in one possession game since 2019. Guess what? That's the second worst in the NFL and in that span, only behind the Bengals, who are 0-9. And Dak finished the game 1 for 7 with 11 yards and a 14.3 completion rate, which was the worst in any game of his career. And my only point is, at some point, you got to win some of these games against good teams. And every time I look at the numbers, and when they went to Philadelphia last year with a banged-up squad, he threw no touchdowns. I could go, they lost a game in New Orleans last year where New Orleans didn't even throw a touchdown and they beat the Cowboys. There's too many of these games that would have been a great win for the Cowboys, Chris. And you just said it. that play that didn't work with 11 minutes to go, there's still plenty of ball game to still pull that game out and to still win it. And the numbers aren't there. I'm just, you got to start to look and say, how come they don't beat the teams that you need to beat if you're going to get there? A lot of people have picked the Cowboys to get to the Super Bowl. I get it. It's one game, but I'm giving you the numbers about the teams that they play who finished 500. The last year they were 1-7 or 1-6 against teams that made the playoffs. And at some point, you got to start pulling these games out, the close games, Chris, when it comes down to it and making a play. There's no reason why they should have 15 net yards in their last 10 plays. I mean, that's outrageous.
Well, and I agree. I mean, and I didn't, if you listen to what I said, I didn't come on here praising Dak.
I didn't say you did, but I'm just saying
all I'm saying is I
don't
thought,
they have to beat a good team eventually?
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's beaten them in the past, so I'm not worried. Like, I don't feel like Dak Prescott can't beat good teams. He's beaten good teams in the past. He beat Russell Wilson in a playoff game. You can say it's ancient history. The dude is young. He beat him as a youngster. So, and I look at the whole team, and like I said, Dak's got to be better. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But there are a lot of other things I look at as well, as problems with the Cowboys. That defense, especially, and then the tight end, the backup tight end after the starter got hurt, dropped a couple passes. Remember last year they had a ton of drops.
That's a part of football. I mean, there's no way.
Dude
to work
dropped two passes in his hands. I mean, so you can't put all that on the court. You got to catch the ball. I'm not saying there's not going to ever be drops, but still. And again, McCarthy's got to, you got to take that field goal. So at the very least, they should have been tied.
But isn't it him trying to show confidence? Show confidence in the offense in Dak?
That's
Chris,
ridiculous.
You said there was 11 minutes to go. You were going to get the ball back at least two more times.
You weren't going to have it a lot because Rob G, look up the time of possession between Dallas and the Rams. I mean, the Rams controlled the clock. And so that was you should have tied the game. That's my point. You had plenty of time to go for the win, so go ahead and tie it. He was overconfident in the offense, if you want to say that. But let's go down because, as I said, it was a bad day for the two favorites to win the division. Anybody not picking Dallas is generally picking Philadelphia. What was your disappointing loss, Rob? I mean, and I tell you what, as Dak was not Joe Montana, he was better than Carson Wentz.
You're gonna blame. What was the score when
he was better?
What was the score in that game to start? Do you remember
the Philadelphia game?
Yeah.
Were they up 17-0?
Oh, yes. And the defense gave up 27
and they never scored another touchdown.
27
hold
unanswered
on. They
points.
never scored another touchdown.
But don't act like it's all on the offense, Chris. I'm telling
not
you,
acting like
the
it's all. You didn't even
horrific.
give me a chance to get the words out of my mouth.
The defense was horrific.
You scored 17 points. And like you said, it was 17-0. You couldn't answer? Why couldn't you answer? Because your boy threw 2 interceptions and then lost the fumble. He fumbled twice, lost 1. And all I'm saying is, as much as you want to kill Dak looked better yesterday than Carson Wentz. And they're going to start, if he doesn't get it together, because he made some, he held the ball too long at times. A lot of this stuff is his fault. Trying to make passes he shouldn't take the easy one. And Carson Wentz has got to be better. And they were banged up, but they still had a ton of speed at the wide receiver position. And Carson, especially in the second half, was just a mess. And so as much as you want to talk about Dak, I think Dak looked better. Dak engendered more confidence in me yesterday moving forward than Carson Wentz did.
No, I got less confidence in Dak, just that the pattern continues. It's the same old thing.
Well, there's a pattern with Wentz, too.
No, but I'm talking about
seriously.
If I look at both
you
of them,
putting it all on. He
Carson
made the playoffs
Wentz
last year with a 9-7 record or whatever they were.
They won the division and he beat Dak.
What?
So what? What do you mean?
What about the rest of his
Dak
career?
didn't make the playoffs last year,
Dak's made
Chris.
it twice in 4 years.
No, but he didn't make it last year. Carson Wentz beat him in a big game. He
So
beat him
what?
with tape and glue.
And then got hurt in the.
No.
How did he do with the tape and glue yesterday?
Every time
the
Cowboys
we
play a
weren't
good
talking
team,
past history.
every time they play a good team, they lost to another good team. They lost to another good
team. At least they lost to a good team. What is your team going to look like when they play a good team?
It's not my
Washington?
team. I don't root for the Philly for the
Tell me
Eagles.
about your boy. Tell me about it.
Yes, he had started off well. Everything came unraveled. The defense was awful. He threw a couple of picks. He got sacked 8 times, Chris. They didn't protect him. They didn't protect him.
So
it's hard for a quarterback.
It wasn't his
8
fault
times
that he threw
Chris,
2 picks.
8 times.
It wasn't his
Come on,
fault
man.
that he threw
you know
2 picks.
football better than that.
He held the ball.
You don't protect your quarterback.
If
you don't protect your quarterback, it's going to be a long day at the office.
Some of those sacks are on him, Rob. He holds it too long at times. You know that. You know that. I'm just saying you're going to sit here and bash Dak.
But don't tell me that he had 8 sacks.
The first word out of your mouth
Dak,
when I bring up Wentz is the defense?
They gave up 27 unanswered points to Haskins.
Why were they unanswered?
Kidding?
Why were they unanswered? Because his offense couldn't score.
That's
not the defense's fault they were unanswered.
Make a
That's
stop.
the offense's
Are you
fault. They couldn't score. You know I'm right. Who are you more impressed with yesterday, and who are you more confident in going forward? Dak Prescott or Carson Wentz?
All I'm going to say is Dak Prescott needed some blue emu yesterday. Joseph in Virginia, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Joseph?
I know it don't happen often, but I got to go with Rob on this one, Chris. And it's simply because Philly had 2 new offensive linemen. They had 2 rookies. They're missing 2 of their Pro Bowl guys, as well as Washington's defensive line is going to be one of the, if not the best in the league.
Chase Young, right?
Yeah, Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Kerrigan. They got 4 draft picks, 4 first-round picks on that line. So they're going to cause problems.
Hold on. What was the difference between the first half and the second half then?
They couldn't adjust to the speed. I mean, they're just
in the first half they took them apart. They took that great defensive line with those young offensive linemen apart.
They couldn't adjust. That's what I'm saying.
Why couldn't they do it?
That's why Riverboat Ron. This is when the coaching comes in. This is why they needed Ron. When it comes to making adjustments,
so he made the adjustments that Dougie P couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, he made the adjustments that. Yeah, I would say that. I mean, he had 2 rookies up there.
I almost fainted, Joseph. I can't believe it. My man. All right. Thanks for the call.
I had Joseph stumbling. I had him stuttering at the end.
Nah. Joseph was firm right there.
They couldn't adjust.
Big Mike in Cincinnati. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Big Mike?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
What's up, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. I mean, Chris, you probably already know who I'm about to go with, but I would stick with Carson Wentz going forward. You know, he didn't play he played pretty bad the second half, but I mean, like the caller said before, I think there was actually 3 linemen that went down. When you got a guy who played rugby a year ago switching to left tackle, you know, you're going to have issues with Chase Young. I mean, one thing about the Redskins, I mean, they're really underrated, you know, when it comes to their defensive line. They always had a great defensive line, but they've just been hit with so many injuries. We saw Dak. I mean, Dak didn't do bad, but I mean, I definitely feel like he could have done better. But it's a recurrent thing, you know, with the Cowboys. You know, the good teams, playoff teams, they just think they cannot get over the hump. You know, and I think that's the biggest struggle. But we already saw what Carson Wentz did. You know, I mean, it's one game, but I mean, there was a little concern.
All right. Thanks, Big Mike. Appreciate the call. What about Amir in Philadelphia? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Amir?
Amir.
Yep. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, guys?
We got you now.
Yeah, I love both of you guys, but Chris, you got to stop being unfair to the guy and just let me talk. He's coming into this year with 2 of his offensive linemen out for the whole season, and one of the rookies that started last night got hurt in the first freaking half. And when they were on the roll in the first quarter, he still was getting sacked. He got sacked 3 times when they were going up in the first quarter. Like, Chris, that went into that game fully loaded. Fully loaded.
Are you in a frat, Amir? Fraternity?
What do you mean?
Are you in a fraternity?
Don't change the subject, Chris.
First of all, don't tell me what to do on my show. All right, are you in the frat? No.
He said no.
If you had been, you would have learned this. Excuses are tools of incompetence. With them, we build great monuments of nothingness. Those who use them seldom amount to anything else. Therefore, sir, I have no excuses.
No,
don't call up here with excuses.
It's not excuses, it's facts. He's telling you about the offensive line. I gave you that sack 8 times.
That same
That's
offensive
line
minus the one that got hurt.
That's a part of the fact,
They picked that Washington defense apart.
Chris,
you
that's
said
a part
it. They
of
scored
the story.
17 straight
yeah,
points
but they got
against
5
them,
sacks in the second half. 5.
What changed? Why couldn't they protect him in the first half?
They played better. That Washington played better. Amir, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. Thanks for checking in from Philly. G in Texas, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, G?
What's going on, man? Y'all can hear me?
Yes,
yep,
sir.
we got you.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm just a big fan of y'all, man. Love listening to y'all's show.
Thank you.
Hey, guys, I got to go with Chris. I mean, Dak, he didn't have the best game yesterday, but he didn't turn the ball over. He played solid. I think he's just getting used to that new system out there. And I think Philadelphia going to be playing Jalen Hurts not too long here. So,
that name came up. I was surprised it came up so early, but it's coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to look at the,
Dak, wait a minute. What do you mean, Dak? Doesn't he have the same offensive coordinator from a year ago? What are you talking about? New system? What system?
I'm talking about with the coach. I'm talking about
But the same offensive
they're running.
coordinator.
They got the same offensive coordinator. Yeah.
So there's
but they've changed the system up a little.
Yeah, but that's basically the same guy, is what I'm saying. I can't use that.
Same OC for sure.
Yes. All right.
That's an explanation. No, that's not
Appreciate
an excuse.
Marty in Kentucky, yeah, whatever. Whatever works for you. Marty, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
Hey, fellas, I feel like I've been listening to this argument since day one of the Odd Couple. I'm just going to say it to you both straight. I'm not going to agree with either one of you. Dak has all the intangibles. He has the heart, and he has the mentality that you want at quarterback. And Carson Wentz has all the skills and arm talent that you want at quarterback. And when it all comes down to it, when you add up what they have and what they don't have, they're pretty even. And that's why they swap up the division championship every year. They're pretty even when it all comes down to it.
Look, I would agree. I think physically Carson Wentz is better, but I think Dak has better intangibles. And yesterday, Rob, one thing I brought up was the time of possession. This is what I meant about the defense. The Los Angeles Rams had over 35 minutes of possession. The Dallas Cowboys had 24 minutes.
Yeah, but
24 minutes. No, that's my point. Is the
61 yards in the second half.
No, but my point is the defense. Dallas, the LA Rams were staying on the field offensively all game long. They were just marching, and even if they didn't score a touchdown, they wore down the defense. They marched. So
right, because Dak.
I'm not saying Dak was awesome. I'm just saying he was better than Carson Wentz. That's all I'm saying. Yesterday.
Yeah, I just going forward, there's no way. I would take Carson Wentz 10 out of 10 times if you were to say which guy would you keep and think you could win with. I just don't believe in Dak. He hasn't won enough big games for me.
He's won more than Wentz.
I just don't believe in him. I'm just telling you.
I mean, he's won more than Wentz. All right, 877.
And as time has gone on, more and more, there's more and more stuff being added to the resume where they keep losing to good teams. That bothers me. It reminds me of Matt Stafford.
Oh, no. Nothing like Matt Stafford. He's been to the playoffs 2 times in 4 years.
I'm just saying.
Beat Russell Wilson.
That
Matt Stafford has nothing
teams,
like that on his resume.
Not beating good teams.
But Philly's not beating bad teams.